So there we have it, the Safari Rally Kenya. If you want to hear some more specific thoughts about the first 2 days, check out my video from yesterday on it. But let's talk a bit about the overall event. And, well, firstly, you have to commend Colour and Powder. Keeping it on the road, making sure that he was bringing it home, and making sure that he wasn't taking points away from his teammates. Both for their Drivers' Championships, because they're full-time, and for the Manufacturers' title. It's great to see him in such good form. It's great to see him performing so well in the WRC this season, even though he's only running part-time. But I think the better commendations have got to go to the people he shared the podium with. Taka Katsuta, I predicted he was going to get a podium in the Safari at the start of the season, and he got it. And Adrian Formeau, 2 in a row. I heard on the broadcast that apparently the last driver to get their first 2 podiums in consecutive events was Danny Sordo back in 2006. And, well, Formeau is going through the tried and tested route that saw Elfyn Evans come back up through the ranks in the WRC, saw Oid Tanak come back up through the ranks in the WRC. You could argue that it saw something similar for Mats Osberg during his career as well. Petter Solberg had something similar. It's a tried and tested route through M Sport, and well done to Rich Milner and Malcolm Wilson for giving Adrian Formeau that chance. He's a guy who has fantastic potential in the WRC, and it's great to see him living up to it. Currently sitting 3rd in the standings, which I'm trying to remember what the situation was like after the 3rd round of the season last season, which was Croatia, and I'm pretty sure that Oid Tanak wasn't as high up in the championship standings. My apologies, he was Mexico, and yes, he was 4th in the standings at that time. So that shows that he's doing really well in this run. He's doing really well in this ride, and it's great to see him in such good form. And I know there were people who had doubts about him being a team leader, but I think that Adrian Formeau has really proven those doubters wrong in this event. But I think the biggest thing that's come up from this event is the point system. And I heard him talk about it on the broadcast. Oid Tanak is, thanks to the way that the point system works, actually going to be doing relatively well from it. He's 4th in the standings on 33 points. Granted, he has lost a rally compared to the people up in front. Thierry Neuville on 67, Elfyn Evans on 66, Adrian Formeau on 46, Oid Tanak on 33. But in the old point system, Oid Tanak would have 19 points. He'd be in 8th. So, arguably, he's been one of the greatest beneficiaries of this new style points system. I think the last issue that arose from it is the conditions of the stages, and the Safari has notoriously been a tough rally, but I heard complaints from several different drivers throughout the event about the conditions of the stages, the rocks, the ruts. I mean, we saw Oid Tanak almost get flung out of a rut on the power stage, which, wow, it was so impressive to see Tanak flying through Sunday and flying through that power stage. And to a degree, they might have a point. Like, if the WRC wants to have something that's properly car breaker, they should. And I think they should properly steer into that. I mean, like we see in return of Cyprus, we allow the Safari to be more days, we allow it to be more of an endurance event, if there's a way to do that that's cost effective. But the problem the WRC has is, especially since 2017, where we've had the more high aerodynamic cars, is that we've made it so that they perform in a much finer condition window. And it's a bit like, and I make this comparison all the time, Group B versus Group A, with Rally 1 versus Rally 2. Rally 2 can compete pretty much everywhere. And Rally 1 can compete in most places, but the drivers will kick up a fuss if their car's not behaving the way it should, because it operates in quite a finite window. I don't know. Maybe those rule changes that we're going to get next season will help it out a bit. But you don't need the fancy trick parts the older World Rally cars had, because the Rally 2 cars can do it on less fancy, less tricky parts than are currently in the Rally 1 cars. Something for the FIA to consider, perhaps. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.